I think what makes Portland so special is initially just the feeling of home. Like it's such a familiar feeling. Even when I fly home into the Portland airport, there's like this breath of fresh air that's always like really kind of comforting. The skate community and then the kind of like family community that we've come to connect with is really kind of organic and feels great to be a part of it. But yeah, I think the most important thing about Portland, the most special thing about Portland is just that it feels like home. My name is Sebo Walker. I'm 36 years old, and we're here in Portland, Oregon. I'm a born and raised Oregonian. I'm just finishing my last piece for the art show, for the Rockstar contest this weekend. They invited me to skate and to be a part of the art show. Yeah, this is my third and final piece. It's called DIY. It's a bunch of skate obstacles. I lived here until I was about 19, and then I went to California for about a decade to chase the dream of becoming a pro skater. Like you gotta do, take that chance. But always kind of knew when we had a family, I would come back and be close to my parents and my wife's parents, and we loved Portland. So it was always kind of on the radar that we would end up back here. I think it was definitely good for me to be in LA for the time that I was, just to be where all the filmers and photographers are, and a lot of skate spots too. But nowadays, you can be productive anywhere and film and get photos, and Joe Brook lives here, and I have a lot of friends back here, and it was kind of refreshing to come home. Spots are rough and really crusty, but I kind of missed that and loved that, and basically just got a good decade of LA, and it was productive and positive. We moved back in 2020, so 4 years ago. It was a funny time, as everybody knows, and we just were like, oh, let's just go see our family during this unique time that we're all navigating. And then when we got here, we just kind of had a feeling that we wanted to move back, and also found out that we were pregnant with my son, Louis, who's now 3.5. And so it all just kind of came together and felt right, like the right time to move back home. Growing up, there's amazing skate parks here in Oregon. A lot of really gnarly transition parks, and I rode for the skate shop that had a bunch of good skaters, and I was familiar with like Brett Ashley, Mike Chin, and all the Burnside guys, and we would come up and like watch those guys skate, and it was just kind of like mind-blowing. I always loved transition, but it's a little intimidating to skate. There's a pretty dynamic street skating scene too. The Portland skate scene's definitely been growing quite a bit in the last few years. I think with lack of a indoor park, I think that can be a little hard, like the winters. But we've had the courts, which has been like a Portland staple, just for people to meet up. Well, the courts was just our DIY, where PSU had these empty tennis courts. And during the pandemic, people just started to bring a couple boxes and had random obstacles and dropped them off there. And then slowly but surely, Nick Pelster, a local skater that's also a student, he decided to work with the school and kind of have meetings and basically explain to them how important the courts had become, especially during the pandemic, because it was like outside active space basically for us. Kind of got them to sign off on allowing us to do some murals, kind of raising awareness to keep it clean. We were allowed to keep it for about the last 4 years. That recently came to an end because they're going to develop on it, but they're still working with us to kind of relocate. Some of the obstacles went to other spots in Portland. So the courts has been kind of the comeback of Portland after the pandemic. And probably, the most positive thing in our skate community in the last few years. Through the pandemic, my Cal's Pharmacy part took about 3 to 4 years to film. We would get together when we could, and downtown was kind of a ghost town. So we had the advantage of everything being shut down. And so it was easy for us not to think so much of it. We just were like, this is so sick, everything's like empty. But now we look back and it's like, whoa, we were living in the glory days. Like some of that stuff we'll never be able to skate again. Everything was just completely shut down. So it was really lucky to be able to film, and now we can kind of look back and it showcases Portland in this very like unique, quiet time. I had an 11-minute part. I was super proud of it. I filmed a lot of it when my son was like 1, which any parents know it's a lot of work and it's a lot of change and adapting, and so some of the times getting out was a little harder to like get out of the door if I was like super tired or whatever. I remember a couple sessions just being like really tired but pushing it and going and skating. Mike McLeod is a really talented filmer, and the whole crew kind of crushed it. Just felt cool to film, you know, a skate shop video. Kind of just like growing up, that's all we really worked on was a skate shop video every year. So it felt good to like tap back into that and work on it.
Yeah! I'm not gonna do a background trick, I'm just gonna blow it.
Since we've come home, I've been able to connect with nonprofits and really kind of just amazed by the amount of like outreach and connecting with the youth and working with the youth, specifically like underserved or underprivileged youth that just need outlets and positive things to connect to. So insert like skating, art, some of the things that I'm into, I've been able to bring to the table with different nonprofits and do some really fun, meaningful work with kids. I do think Portland is a great place to raise a family. Yeah, it's, you know, one of those places that's got a lot of families and a lot of kids. Like we walk outside our door and we hear kids playing, and the community here, people are just super nice, and there's really like a strong sense of community. There hasn't been a ton of big skate contests in Portland, at least that I can remember. There's been quite a few like smaller community thrown events, but the family will come, so it'll be fun to have my family there, and a lot of my family's really excited, you know, just to come to an event. And there's skating, art, music, just a really fun thing to kind of get the community together during the summertime. It's been really cool. I'm feel lucky to be a part of the kind of the comeback of Portland, because like I said, the pandemic was definitely a hard time for the city.